Awkward was the most fitting description for the man. His arms were twisted around his face, and his legs, incorrectly inverted at the knees, were a tangled mess. So bizarre was the arrangement that initial investigators almost overlooked the numerous, cleanly cut gashes across his torso and thighs. Living not very far away, Ivan was disturbed at the discovery of the body. Already mired in constant, crippling anxiety, punctuated with the occasional panicked fit, he considered this just another tally in his lifelong unlucky streak. His ever-present stress stemmed from having to live anywhere near other people. Born with Simpson dysmorphia syndrome, a rare genetic disorder that causes overgrowth during development, Ivan had abnormally large hands and feet, and one leg slightly longer than the other. The resulting stagger drew in years of constant torment, as many would try to tip him from side to side. What drew the most disdain, though, was his face. His eyes were circular and tiny, as they contrasted against a long, wide mouth devoid of all but a few teeth. Glares of disgust followed him all his life, and if there was one thing that unnerved him more than interacting with others, was looking anyone in the eyes. He found them repulsive, pinpoint needles that persecuted his very being. Going out usually entailed him keeping his sights fixed on the ground. He figured it was better for everyone that way. Ivan found his saving grace in the piano. While he was not particularly good, every right note felt like a victory. Days could pass in a blur as he tried his hand at the classics, his apartment turning from isolating prison to grand concert hall in his mind. With reports coming in of a killer on the loose and police initiating a county-wide manhunt, Ivan laid out an assortment of sheet music. From the old legends of Bach and Mahler to modern composers like Glass and Williams, he vowed to not leave his room until the chaos outside died down. Resting his oversized fingers on the plastic keys, he became lost in the music, every mistake only driving the passionate fury of the pianist. The music formed a world of its own. The only things barely keeping Ivan in reality were the breeze from his open window and his growling stomach. Even hunger couldn't crack the possession of music over mind. His hasty food runs a blur once he left his room, stalking back with great speed to begin the next song. The delirium was finally broken when his smoke alarm went off. A faint, gray smoke wafted from his microwave. Missing so many teeth, Ivan had to heat food into a mushy state so he wouldn't choke. With the wild piano spree now broken, Ivan paused, fanned away the smoke, took the mush out from the microwave, and tuned the radio to local news. A monotone voice reported a killer was still at large. The police had discovered 4 more bodies. As the details poured in, Ivan realized the bodies were being found, closer and closer to his home. Hands trembling and vision narrowing, he tried to fend off the looming sense of dread. Resting his hands on the keyboard, he began again. With attention divided amongst the piano and radio, tremors coursing through his hands and arms, the music came out panicked and ugly. He constantly glanced out his window and around his room for the peering eyes that would bring his end. Another report came in. A body in a tree, limbs delicately lined up in an attempt to make it blend in. Deep holes where flesh was supposed to be. So very close now. Ivan arched his hands into hooks and smashed the keyboard. He felt sick. His head was a burden to hold up. Maybe he was sick. The sheet music no longer guided him as he violently forced a clatter of notes from the plastic keyboard. Tears fell from his face. Louder and louder he played, but it couldn't drown out the noise of footsteps coming down the stairs. Now to the hall. Now at his door. A knock. Ivan froze. The knocks continued, each one more forceful than the one before. A man's muffled voice came from behind the thick wooden door. Ivan shuffled quietly over and leaned his ear in. The man was asking him if he could turn down the piano, just like the others had. Ivan flung the door open and reached for the man's eyes.